Good evening to you. We are monitoring breaking news right now out of Central Texas. There has been a deadly shooting spree. It happened late this afternoon, spanning two cities, Midland and Odessa, Texas. Police have just confirmed 5 people are dead, 21 others injured, including law enforcement officers. The suspect is also dead. The president has been briefed. He is monitoring the situation, the White House says. Ron Allen is following the story. He joins us with all the details now. Ron, this started with a traffic stop.
Yes, a disturbing and chaotic situation that started with a traffic stop. A man was pulled over in a vehicle. We don't know exactly why. He opened fire on the police officer, then took off. At some point, he hijacks a mail truck. Along the way, he is shooting at people along the highway, somewhere between Odessa and the town of Midland. This continues on for some time, and then the suspect is finally cornered near a movie theater in Odessa, and a gunfight occurs, and police shoot and kill him. At one point during the day, they thought there were more shooters. They thought there were more vehicles involved. Very chaotic. Here's some of what the police just said about the casualties.
This subject was contacted by law enforcement, and an exchange of gunfire happened, and that subject is deceased at that location. We have law enforcement injured. We have the DPS trooper in Midland County. We have 1 MPD officer and 1 OPD officer that were struck. As far as civilian casualties, we have at least 21 victims. 21 shooting victims, and at least 5 deceased at this point in time.
We don't know the condition of the police officers who were wounded. There was one report suggesting that the injuries were not life-threatening. We believe the officer that was shot was the first one who encountered the suspect at that traffic stop along a highway, apparently. Again, we don't know why that happened. 1 gunman, 1 shooter, 1 suspect in all of this, identified as a white male. We don't know what his motivation was. We don't know what kind of weapon it was. But just a chaotic scene with the area completely on lockdown. There was a mall, a shopping mall that was involved. There's a campus of the University of Texas that was on lockdown as well. But the bottom line is that now authorities believe the situation is under control. They believe it was just 1 gunman, and he's dead.
Yeah, you can only imagine the terror in that community as they try to figure out what was going on. Ron Allen, thank you very much. And joining us now by phone is former ATF special agent in charge, also an NBC News analyst, Jim Kavanaugh. Jim, give us a sense of how challenging a situation like this is when you have a shooter opening fire on the highway.
Right, Peter. Oftentimes it starts with a traffic stop. You know, somebody may be a fugitive from justice, an escaped prisoner. They can be a wanted person. They can have an illegal weapon. When the trooper pulls them over, they engage and start shooting. And then this looks like it went into a homicidal rage after that. We just had a situation in California. Trooper killed just in the last 2 or 3 weeks. A convicted felon armed with a M4 rifle. When the trooper pulled him over, he got out and killed the trooper. So it does happen. There probably was some criminality involved. He didn't want to be arrested. He didn't want to go back to prison. And he started killing the trooper. It could have also been, you know, on his way to do a mass shooting, although that's probably unlikely. It's more likely he had some criminal culpability.
Yeah, Jim Kavanaugh, we appreciate your expertise on this developing breaking story right now. We, of course, will continue monitoring the situation. You can see more on your late local newscasts. For now, some of you will rejoin NBC Nightly News in Progress. Others return to your local programming. I'm Peter Alexander. Good night.
Everybody keep your hands up.
This is fucking crazy.
All of this happened in the sister cities of Midland and Odessa. Nerves were already raw in Texas, where just 4 weeks ago, less than 300 miles away, a gunman opened fire at an El Paso Walmart, killing 22 people. You can hear nervousness in Alex Woods' voice as he recorded the end of the chase on his camera.
shooting going on in Odessa, Texas. Oh God, they're shooting right there. Oh, he hits the barrier. The cop just hit the barrier. Get down, get down, get down.
Get down, get down, get down, get down.
Stand still. He's shooting him, he's shooting him. Oh, he's killed him, he killed him.
Man, there's a shooting. We're watching the shooting happen.
Oh, he's shooting him up. He hit the barrier.
With us now on the line from Odessa, Texas, is the man who recorded those incredible images, Alex Wood. So, Alex, thank you for being with us.
Yeah, no problem.
This has been a harrowing day for you and another awful day for the people of Texas. So, first up, how are you? Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm still a little shook up. You know, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around this because I never thought I would witness it.
And this is a whole lot worse because, just 4 weeks ago, there was a mass shooting in El Paso, Texas. So have you been able to process this? Have you taken a moment to think all of this through?
Yeah, it's just I'm still a little confused why it happened. Like, I know they had the one in El Paso, but I just never thought it would happen here. I mean, it's a pretty calm town. There's a lot of people and all, but it just seems very unreal. Yeah, very, very unreal indeed. Look, what really struck me, though, is how quickly you reacted to what was happening right there in front of you. I want to play just the first few seconds of your video, which we have. Listen to this.
There's a shooting going on in Odessa, Texas. Oh God, they're shooting right there. Oh, he hits the barrier. The cop just hit the barrier. Get down, get down, get down.
There seems to be no doubt, no hesitation. You know, you just jump into action. So can you explain, where did that clarity of thought come from?
From there, it was just all adrenaline. Just my brain wasn't really thinking. It was just saying, get it on camera because people need to see what is happening. And plus, I would like to hand this footage over to the police. Maybe it would help in their investigation.
And when you look at the video, it appears that there's quite some distance between you and then the police and the gunman. But often camera phones can be deceptive. In reality, how close were you? And in particular, could you see the final moments when the police opened fire on the gunman?
Oh yeah, in the video, when it's hard to see it, but when I said the police officer hit the barrier, he had hit the mail van that was driving, and then he hit the barrier. And in that moment, the police officer jumped out of his vehicle and discharged his weapon into the driver's side of the mail van. And in that moment, I believe that was when the shooter was killed because there was no more shooting, and it was a silence over there. It's not shown in the video, but SWAT did show up, and they threw a flash grenade into the back of the van. I was assuming they did that to make sure there were no further threats hiding in there.
Yeah. So that officer, he was in his vehicle, there was someone driving, and he got out. And was he sort of just this sort of regular garden variety police officer? He wasn't from some sort of tactical team. He wasn't wearing Kevlar, for example. He was just sort of a regular cop who drew his sidearm. Is that how you saw it?
Yeah, that's correct. He was he might have been highway patrol. It was not like a SWAT or anything. He just rammed into that mail van, and that mail van spun around, and he jumped out of his vehicle and eliminated the threat.
And just with his regular sort of police issue
sidearm, pistol.
When you consider everything that this guy who was driving, this mail van had done, over the last couple of hours, the number of people he killed and wounded, this cop was incredibly brave.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd like to thank the first responders for the way they addressed the situation. Yeah. They put their lives on the line. And this cop was very brave for just jumping out of his vehicle and going straight to the threat to eliminate it, to save lives.
And we'd like to thank you, Alex, for capturing those images for us as well, to see those final moments. Because as we say, it's important that everyone gets to see how this all played out in the end. And we thank you for that, Alex. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.